Hey there everyone, it's Meteorologist Carly Smith. This is our fire danger graphic. So now we're loading it and we are rocking and rolling. Today is our day of fire danger, and the impact is going to be strong, dry wind that creates the extreme fire danger. No outdoor burning is what you need to do, none. And try to avoid sparks. If you have a job such as welding where sparks are created pretty easily, consider postponing some things or be extremely cautious because any spark could potentially start a fire in these conditions, and it could spread much quicker than you're used to in these types of weather conditions. Hey there everyone, it's Meteorologist Carly Smith. The wind has picked up, y'all. The front is passing through. It's 10:14 a.m. now on this Tuesday morning, and we do have our fire weather warning in place. So that is in place through 9 p.m. this evening. We also have small craft advisories for our bays and a gale warning in place for the Gulf water. I believe that is until noon. Yeah, the gale warning is until noon. The small craft advisory is through 6 p.m. There's also a wind advisory that I believe is roughly through 6 p.m. as well. So wind, the big issue today. Look at this. Not only here locally, we have our fire danger concern across South Texas, across the Texas Hill Country. There's tornado watch, so severe thunderstorms passing through Louisiana, East Texas, and Arkansas now. That's going to continue to track off to the east. And then additionally, far to the north, we're talking blizzard warnings because the wind is so strong up that direction for Nebraska and into Iowa and Missouri and even Minnesota, and Kansas. So yeah, crazy weather happening across the region. There you have it, some of those advisories. This is why a strong cold front, a strong weather maker, a strong storm system. It is moving through, even some snow trying to mix into the Texas panhandle as temperatures were colder this morning. But what you see here is the initial front passing through. Now, this front is a little tricky. It is separating more so extremely dry air, which in turn at night creates colder conditions, and then some pretty humid air along the coastline. Something that's going to kind of slow the front down from making a full progression south very quickly is we also have flow coming out of the south and southwest that is keeping some cloud coverage there to our south and a little bit more humidity and moisture, but that's going to get pushed, continue to get pushed south and east of us, and we're seeing our skies clear as we speak. So we did have some storms pass through the area. Refugio saw some of the heaviest rainfall, but most of us didn't see any rain at all as this passed through. No lightning being picked up either, but that's a pretty strong storm there that would have passed through Refugio, Woodsboro, Bayside, weakening as it approaches the coast. So Fulton, Rockport got in on some of the heavy rain and downpours as well. But now everything is passing us, and you can see the line of the frontal boundary as well moving through because it's kicking up dust and dirt and trash. And there is a roll cloud. Ooh, I should have went and looked outside. There probably was a roll cloud, but I missed it because I've been busy in here working. But there probably was a roll cloud, which is pretty fascinating to look out, or at least a shelf cloud. But now we're clearing out. Our skies are clearing. The sunshine is peeking through. It's 74 degrees right now in Corpus Christi, so that temperature did drop over the last 3 hours. We were around 78, now we're 74. It's 81 right now in Kingsville, 72 in Beeville. That's your current temperatures. So temperatures did fall a little bit as the boundary passed through, but they're going to heat back up because this is dry air and the sun is out. So I do think we get back into the mid to upper 80s this afternoon for high temperatures. I want to point this out. 41-mile-per-hour gusts recorded now at Corpus Christi, 30-mile-per-hour Robstown, 37-mile-per-hour Kingsville. So the strong winds are here. Yeah, I've been sneezing all day, Joyce as well. Barbie's been sneezing all day, so the southerly wind, not great for allergies. Now this northwest wind is going to blow in different allergies that we're not used to, because actually northwest wind is pretty rare. So I don't know any of the grasses or shrubs or trees that would be blowing in from kind of the West Texas area. There's a lot of brush, kind of similar to what we see here. they're probably just starting to think about starting planting some of the crops out that way. Winter wheat would be popping up now. But anyway, just some ideas of what is headed our way. It's going to be trees and pollen. Likely not even just directly to our west. So our area is traveling over the El Paso area and even out of Arizona, which has some pine and cedar, and New Mexico, which has all types of trees growing as well. So we're going to get pollen potentially from areas we are not used to seeing it from. We get a lot of our pollen coming out of East Texas when we have northeast winds, but this is a west-southwest wind. And it is coming in strong, and it is going to really cause some issues, potentially for your allergies, but also for fire danger. Fire danger is the biggest concern. And additionally, blowing things around. Trash cans could be in your neighbor's yard if it's your trash day. So the wind right now is out of the northwest, north-northwest, a little bit more than anticipated. It will shift west-northwest later on. So dew points, you already see dropping. So Corpus Christi, we were in the 60s like the island, and Flower Bluff, and now we're in the 30s. So that dew point has fallen quite dramatically across the coastal bend. The way I see it is it's going to be super dry, and it's going to be super windy. It's going to be warm as well. Dry air heats up and cools down more efficiently. So even though this is essentially a cold front, you could argue it's a dry line, but that cold front moving through, or this frontal boundary, shifting our wind out of the northwest, I don't really see two different air masses. I see the colder air coming in as our pressure gradient tightens, and then we continue to have that northwest wind overnight or into the late afternoon, but the pressure gradient tightens a bit. We'll talk about that in just a second, but I see the frontal boundary passing through, and then we're still just dealing with this drier air mass that knocks our temperatures down overnight because dry air heats up and cools down more efficiently than humid air does. The big issue is fire concern. So the northwest wind gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour today, dry vegetation, low relative humidity, that creates an environment where if a fire starts, it will spread very quickly and very easily. So here's where I see it right now. This was just a second ago, so I need to update these graphics, but what I see here, you can see now, when you look at the temperatures across Texas, let's go back. So I'm going to edit this graphic while we're live on this update. You can kind of see the front. It's a tricky forecast. Definitely colder temperatures, cooler air mass moving through Houston right now. The actual cold front, there is a secondary front that may blow through tonight that's up here, kind of hanging out up here. And then we still kind of have this dry line that is now easily passed through. Ooh. Did anyone see any dust devils as this was passing through? That would be interesting. Anyway, we kind of have the dry line right through here. This is arguably all the same boundary. It's just a little bit less cold down here. So the colder air is staying a little bit to our north. The drier air is moving in down here. And it's making it very tricky to explain what's going on in our weather pattern. But essentially, it's easier just to say it's all one front because when you look at the water vapor imagery, this kind of shows the different air masses, right? Hey, Joyce, what's up? I'm happy to help. So this is just really fascinating because you do kind of see the initial dry air moving in now as we speak, and then the colder air isn't really there except for right here. So we have a little bit more humid air, but also colder air across the West Texas, Lubbock, El Paso. That's approaching San Angelo, and then this is mostly just drier air. And depending on when the drier air hit you, whether or not your temperatures are gonna be able to fall or not, and how clear your skies are or not. But for us, we are going to still be warmer. So that's why you could kind of argue it's more of a dry line, but overall it's going to be mostly be colder just overnight because drier air heats up and cools down more efficiently. And that's the best way I have to explain it. But anyway, I didn't mean to get distracted and go off on a tangent. So we're going to edit the dew point one now. So you can kind of see how the like colder air mass is essentially still a little humid, whereas we are in the drier air. And then Brownsville still has a dew point of 70, which is just wild. But this is the initial boundary. This is where all the severe weather is. This is where the dry air is moving into our region. And then there is this secondary front that's kind of like right through here. But the big issue is fire weather concern, and I want that to be everyone's takeaway. Hey Dean, thanks for watching. Is fires can start easily. Don't drag chains. Don't park in tall grass. This is a day where fires can get out of control very quickly and very easily. So you do see the cold front has passed through Houston as their temperatures are now in the 50s. But I want to emphasize, like, San Antonio and Austin fell cooler, and now because of clear skies they're warming back up. So it's more so just that this cold front is really bringing in mostly dry air more so than cold air, and because of that we're going to heat up more efficiently during the day. Then this is the secondary surge moving through Lubbock, Midland, El Paso now, and that's going to kind of move through overnight. But it's more so the dry air versus the humid air that's playing a big role in how our temperatures are going to feel. The most important thing from this is it's going to be windy, y'all. It's going to be windy. The wind's going to cause problems. It's going to blow your hair around. It's going to blow trash around. Try to keep your trash secure, especially if you're transporting it. Don't let it blow away because it's going to cause a mess. Additionally, if it's your trash day, your trash can may end up down the street. We are looking at wind gusts easily being 40 to 50 miles per hour, specifically between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. Between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m., some of the strongest winds are going to be with us. You'll really see that. For some reason, I don't have that graphic in our wind gust forecast. Everything is loading so slow today. So you'll see 45, 44 mile per hour winds, 46 mile per hour winds, especially from Corpus Christi to Sinton to Mathis to Freer and north of there. Along the coast, winds may stay under 40 miles per hour, but it's going to be dicey everywhere, y'all. We're talking 49, this is 430. 49 mile per hour wind in Corpus Christi forecasted. Then the winds do calm down overnight, and we lose the gust heading into Wednesday morning. So this is Wednesday 3:30. It's no longer gusty, but it is still going to be breezy. We're still talking a northwest wind around 10-15 miles per hour tonight. So keep that in mind. But let me go back up now. So this is the hour-by-hour wind gust forecast for Corpus Christi. We are now dealing with that west-northwest wind that is really strong. It's going to cause problems. Something else to keep in mind, try to keep extra distance between you and the car ahead of you, but it might just be the wind itself. Rocks will be flying very easily in these conditions. Windshield chips can happen. That happened to me yesterday. Wind really strong, 2 to 4 p.m. Some of the strongest wind, even through 5 o'clock, still pretty strong. Then we lose the gust. So here's why. The pressure gradient tightens. So I don't really see two different boundaries. I see one boundary moving in, drier air moving in, wind, high fire danger, and dry conditions. As that pressure gradient tightens, that's why our winds only increase this afternoon. So we're talking 40 to 50 mile per hour winds. Then as we head into, you can kind of see, I guess, the secondary cold front moving through by Wednesday morning, but it's more so radiational cooling and lighter winds that are going to allow our temperatures to fall overnight. High pressure sets up over Texas. Winds are a tad calmer on Wednesday. Chief Meteorologist Alan Holt would call it a sunny delight. Very nice conditions for your Wednesday. Now, with that being said, we could still have some sustained wind 10 to 20 miles per hour. It's not a totally calm day ahead of us in the afternoon especially, but it will be better. Humid conditions return on Friday, then we are tracking another cold front for the weekend that could bring dry conditions in as well. It just looks dusty out there. I think that's because the wind is ramping up. We're still a little humid, but the clouds are clearing out. Wind is now gusting, again, 41 miles per hour. Visibility is 7 miles. Dew point is one of the big things we're watching. So that dew point now falling into the 30s and then teens into this afternoon. What that does is that creates a big difference between the dew point and the air temperature. That is how relative humidity is calculated, and that's going to create our fire danger. Combine that with the really strong winds, and we're talking relative humidity in the single digits, winds gusting up to 45, 50 miles per hour, and that's just a recipe for horrible conditions when it comes to fighting fires. So we call it fire weather because it's not saying that a fire will start, but what it is saying is if a fire does start, it's going to spread out of control very easily because of the weather, right? This is the southeast winds that boost our humidity back and our fire risk goes down, but it's kind of hazy because of the strong wind out there. It reminds me of Lubbock right now. Clearing skies though, 74 degrees, wind is strong out of the northwest, sustained now at 32 miles per hour, y'all, sustained. So overnight, again, temperatures do fall in the 50s. We will be colder overnight because we've got clear skies and the northerly component to the wind. Again, another cold front Saturday could be flirting with a dry line cold front situation, but regardless, it is going to be colder as we look ahead to next week. And by colder, I mean highs in the 70s. Today is our weather impact alert. It looks like today will be drier than behind the second cold front, but we're still looking dry tomorrow and then Sunday as well. So dry conditions, a concern, especially this time of year, especially with the wind, and especially because we have been dealing with a lack of rainfall. Between October and the start of March, this was the 7th driest on record in that time frame, so it's not great heading into our spring windy season for us to be that dry. Drought-wise, I was out last week, so I didn't really look at the drought monitor. Okay, that's got to update. There we go. I was like, we are not drought free. Drought-wise, we are dealing with some severe drought now through Tilden, Beeville, San Patricio County, and then the rest of us are in moderate drought. So drought is not great. Up in the northern part of the watershed, even worse. That extreme drought has expanded, and this is where our fire danger is at its greatest, y'all, through the hill country and then down into South Texas. So everyone do your part to prevent the start of fires today. This is our greatest risk of fire danger throughout the week ahead, but we could be dealing with another day, Saturday, if not Saturday, Sunday, over the weekend. So that's pretty much it for this live update. I hope everyone stays safe and have a terrific, maybe a taco on this Tuesday, y'all. I'm meteorologist Carly Smith, signing off.